Welcome back to the Friday 13th YouTube channel, Metalheads. Today I've got a fantastic US power metal release for you to review. This is by the band Attacker. Now, the band have just released their new album. It's called The God Particle, which is a fantastic album. And if you've heard the previous albums, you'll know just what to expect. And if you're new to Attacker's music, check out this review. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. Now, we all know this cult classic US metal band were formed back in 1983 and released their debut album called Battle at Helms Deep, which was released in 1985 on Metal Blade Records, a cult classic album, as we all know. And this album would feature the lineup of Lou Cariolo on bass guitar, would have Michael Sebastian on drums, would have Pat Marielli on guitars, would have Jim Mooney on guitars, who sadly passed away in 2000, and vocalist Bob Mitchell. Now, this cult classic album was followed up by the band's second album, which was called The Second Coming, released in 1988 on Mercenary Records. This would have a slight lineup change. We'd have Pat Mercenary on guitars, still would have Mike on drums, Lou on bass, and also would have Tom Ocaria on guitars and also John Leone on vocals. Now, these two guys passed away, sadly. Now, the band would release their next album. This was called Soul Taker. This was released in 2004 on Iron Glory Records. With this album, we've slightly lineup change. We'd have a new guitarist back then, Mike Bartonius, who's still with the band now. This also would feature bassist Felix Torres. Band would also later on to record the next album in 2006, The Unknown, released on Sentinel Steel Records. Now, this would be followed by the next album called Giants of Canal on Metal Records in 2013. The next album would also be on the same label. This was called Sins of the World. Absolutely fantastic album. And the new album, The God Particle, is released on Cruz de la Sher Records. Over the last couple of albums, the band's lineup has been Mike Sabatini on drums. We'd also have Mike Bantonius on guitars. We'd have Bobby Lucas on vocals. Now, as we all know, Bobby Lucas has been involved with Seven Witches on the very early albums. We'd also have Brian Smith on bass and Jon Hasselbrink on guitars. Now, folks, I'm a massive fan of US power metal, as some of you may know. I grew up with bands like Attacker, Omen, Helstar, Savage Grace, Liege Lord, all those cult classic bands. For me, American power metal is second to none. It's my second favourite type of music alongside the traditional heavy metal. Now, this new album contains 8 songs. The album was recorded at Band Mother Recordings in New Jersey by the band, and it was also mastered by Joe Lambert. So I'm going to tell you now what the song titles are for this new album. We'd open up with Nights of Terror, Curse of Creation, Stigmatized, River of Souls, Kingdom of Iron, World in Flames, The Mighty Have Fallen, and the title track, The God Particle. So that's the song titles for this new album. Now I'm just going to tell you briefly what I think of the songs for this new album. Now, I have to say the production on this album is absolutely fantastic. And if you like the band's last album, World of Sin, it's a fantastic production, as we all know. The opening track for the album is called Nights of Terror. Now, this is an absolute phenomenal belting song, guys. Bobby's vocals are absolutely amazing. This guy is really screaming like Rob Halford in the early days. The music is so powerful and intense. It's a belter of a great opening track. Now, this band reminds me of other bands that were signed to Metal Blade Records back in the early days. For instance, Helstar. They're very compared to Helstar's music, especially around the time of Nosferatu or Distant Thunder. Other bands that spring to mind would be Omen. The band would also have the heaviness of Anthrax and Overkill. So 2 thrash metal bands mixed with the classic US power metal really does work well for Attacker's music. And like I said, Nights of Terror is an absolute amazing opening track. Full of energy, full of power, and like I said, Bobby's vocals are absolutely on top form. The music is very intense on this song. And like I said, if you do like your classic US power metal and you've not heard Attacker before, you've really got to check out this amazing new album. Now, the second song is called Curse of Creation. This is a little bit not as intense as the opening track. However, the vocals are, like I said, are phenomenal. The music playing by the rest of the band is absolutely spot on. If you're a fan of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Queensryche, with the heaviness of the bands I've already mentioned, then this is a fantastic album and a great band for you to check out. This is a really intense song, guys, with some fantastic vocals. Now, there's one thing I like about this band's music is the rhythm sections. There's some brilliant playing by the drummer Mike and also the bass player Brian. Brian's bass playing is very much like Steve Harris, very clicky, and it sounds absolutely fantastic on the album. Both guitarists, John and Mike, are doing a fantastic job, spinning off one another, just like KK Downing and Glenn Tipton did. Next is Stigmatized. This is another very heavy song, but very melodic. Some fantastic playing, Really does pack a punch, lots of energy, lots of vibe, some great guitar playing, folks. And like I said, Bobby's vocals really do shine through on this album. It's probably the best work he's done so far. Now, it's definitely got that New York, New Jersey vibe. Like I said, Anthrax, The Overkill. Other bands that spring to mind are a band called Hades and also Deadly Blessing. Now, the next song is called River of Souls. I'm going to say for the first 5 seconds or 6 seconds of this song, it's got the Judas Priest rapid fire vibe. Brilliant way that they've done it, folks. This song, however, is the less heaviest song on the album, but it's still a very heavy song. Some fantastic vocals, some great playing by both guitarists Jon and Mike. Rhythm section by Brian and Mike Sebastian is absolutely fantastic as well. Well, folks, I'll give you a little insight now to the new album by Attacker, The God Particle. This is released on Cruz de la Sora release record label. I think it's a brilliant album. The musicianship is absolutely fantastic. Bobby's vocals are absolutely soaring. Production's fantastic. All around, it's a great album. However, it's only 33 minutes long, which is a kind of a shame, but it's still a great album. I'm going to give this album 5 out of 5. And if you do want to check out US Power Metal, this is one band you need to check out. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. More reviews coming soon. Stay safe and stay metal.